What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Cantina Jargon. I'm joined by Caden with Cantina Talk,
What's going on?
and I'm Joe with Jar Jar Jargon. And today we are talking about the Acolyte. We got our first teaser trailer, our first official one. We did see the one from Celebration last year, a little bit of a
Yeah,
leak
the leaked one.
situation. Yeah, this was pretty similar
Yeah,
overall. At least the first half of it, I think, was like shot for shot, the same as the leak one.
yeah, I'd say so. There's definitely some that we're missing, but honestly, I still like this one a million times more than the leaked one. The leaked one didn't give
Yeah,
us nearly as much as this.
this one gave us a little more around the plot, although I can't say I'm completely sure of what's happening in the story yet. It seems like there's I don't even know if I want to say Sith, but there's definitely a dark side user that is targeting Jedi, and the Jedi are somehow trying to find out who this is and possibly stop him. That's what I can decipher from it so far.
So, so correct me if I'm wrong, but this time the Sith have been extinct for nearly a millennium, which is 1,000 years. So, if anything, I don't think it's Sith minus like Darth Plagueis. Like he could definitely show up, but honestly, I think it might just be like a rogue Jedi, like almost like the Lost 20. Like it's like a
Yeah,
disillusioned Jedi, like Dagon Gera from Survivor. It's a disillusioned Jedi that's fallen out of the order and is going off in its own path.
that's what I think too, and the reason is because who is it? Kiadi Mundi who says the
Yeah,
Millennium line. Okay, so I thought so. And if if all the Jedi Council, Mace and Yoda and Kiadi and all them think that there's no Sith around still at the Phantom Menace, which is 100 years after this show takes
yeah,
place, then I have to imagine there's not actually going to be any Sith in here, at least not any that make themselves known to the Jedi in
yeah.
any capacity. So I would like to see a Plagueis pulling the strings
I would
at
too.
some point, maybe at
I,
the end of the series.
I would love to see him being like the master puppets of it all.
Yeah,
And also,
yeah.
do we know how like obviously like the human race is in Star Wars, but is Palpatine like fully human? Because like, do you think like we might get like a little time jump like a little bit in the future, like at the end, and like see Palpatine killing Plagueis and taking over, or
I
do you?
mean,
Because
eh,
like it's not like we're gonna see Sheev in this time because he's
right? We're not. He would be not born yet. But you know what would be cool, because we did get a confirmation that there's going to be multiple seasons. According
yeah.
to this is actually according to Leslie Headland, and I'll share that here. But um, I think it'd be cool if they did jump time
Hmm.
over each season. If this is more of a Tales of the Sith kind of situation, and it shows how they kind of came back to power, and maybe even by the end of the series, maybe it's multiple seasons. I don't know. Past even season two, we kind of get the okay, this is where we're at. Yeah, Plagueis is dead, and Palpatine is trying to find an apprentice, kind of thing.
Also, too, Palpatine was born 84 BBY, so 12 years, or I guess it wouldn't be 12 years, but maybe like 30 years after this first season is set.
After this first season, okay,
So
they could, yeah, they could do it. They
I,
could do it.
I feel like I feel like they, I feel like by the end of the show, definitely not this first season, but by the end of the show, they're gonna want to tie it into like right up until a Phantom Menace.
Hmm.
If
I
that makes
Yeah,
sense, I
no,
like
I think so
I
too.
would assume.
The other thing we saw the Trade Federation in the leaked trailer, but they weren't in this trailer.
Yeah,
So there's definitely going to be a lot of ties to the Phantom Menace, and Leslie Headland actually said that in an interview a while back, like before any of this stuff came out. She was
yeah, I
talking
think it was
about the
like
Phantom Menace a lot.
around Ahsoka.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right. So I definitely would like to see it lead into the Phantom Menace, because the Phantom Menace number one is the weakest prequel to me
I
personally.
agree.
And I think it'd be cool to have something that leads into that story where the Jedi are, pretty much blind to what's happening until Qui-Gon comes across Maul, and then, things go crazy. So that'd be
Yeah,
cool. It'd be cool
yeah,
to get
would
that
be.
story. So I'd be on that. And speaking of the prequels, though, this is another thing that you sent me. Uh I think it's Plo Koon. You think
I
it's
do
Plo
too.
Koon. So Plo Koon's species can live like 300 years, right?
I'm gonna look it up real quick, but I believe so.
That's my understanding. So in that case, I think this is like confirmed Plo Koon.
Okay. This is 2 years old, so it might even be from Legends, but it says 60 years. But other ones say that they can live up to 200. Okay, I'm gonna say 65 years to 250 years. Is like
Okay.
the average.
I'm
So,
gonna
like, in
choose to
between.
go. I'm gonna choose to go with 250
I am
because
as well.
that's my understanding. Was somewhere around there, which means we could be looking at a young Plo Koon right here.
Maybe even a Padawan Plo Koon.
Ooh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Do you think we'd see the orange saber? Or maybe
Well,
yellow if
I
it's
think
changed?
his saber appears to be yellow because there's another clip of him when they all pull out their sabers. So his saber does appear to be yellow in the trailer, which I thought I thought it was yellow in the comics. Was it
I thought it
orange?
was orange. I always thought it was orange, but maybe that's just me.
Either one, man. I don't know. maybe it's orange, maybe it's yellow. I don't know. It could be Plo Koon. I think it's Plo Koon.
Okay, so I guess obviously like with the prequels, it was blue. But in a bunch
Right.
of comics and stuff, it was orange.
Oh, it was orange. Okay. Well,
And
I don't think
the
we're gonna get an
orange.
orange one.
Yeah, the orange was all Legends though, from what I'm reading right now.
Okay. Yeah, the other thing about the Legends stuff, so she did say she's trying to throw in some EU lore and some EU Easter eggs.
And no one told me I couldn't.
Yeah, right. No one told me I couldn't. Which is cool. Because we love the EU. I'm all about it. I want more Legend stories. I don't think this means we're gonna get like any story from Legends, but I think it means we could see a character or two from Legends.
I think honestly, we're making some dialogue about like maybe even because like obviously this is just a picture, but like Malgus or something like they might get like mention of it when they're talking about because the Sith are already extinct, talking about like these feelings, and if you're like feeling this way, like this is what has happened in the past, and they're using it as like an example, like a teaching moment.
Yeah,
that's what I would think of.
Yeah, if we get some like KOTOR references, Malgus,
cool.
Revan, that would be awesome because it'd just be another confirmation that they are canon. We don't know much about the Old Republican canon right now.
I don't think they can mention Bane or Nihilus though. Like that's I feel like that's like too much.
Nihilus
like
might
too powerful.
Yeah, Nihilus might be a little overboard. He was like eating planets.
Yeah, he was like the Galactus of Star Wars, is devouring planets.
Right. So I don't think I'm on board with Nihilus. I gotta agree with you there. But I do think Revan and Malgus definitely should get a mention. And honestly, at some point, I think they should just canonize Knights of the Old Republic for the most part. I mean, obviously it's a choose your path game, but I'm saying the lore around it.
I mean, technically still, I mean, Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order technically are too, depending on like
right.
I mean, sorry. I mean, I guess like there's different ways to look at it, but like obviously with KOTOR, like is very much so like choose your own path. But I mean, we already got so close to it with Clone Wars with the deleted arc, with the deleted scenes. Like, I think at this point, just like if they were already there in the deleted scenes, to me it's canon, or some parts of it anyway.
Yeah.
But obviously, we didn't see it on screen.
George intended for it to be, the high level canon. There were different tiers to canon pre-Disney. And only a few stories from Legends actually were considered like movie level canon. That was KOTOR and the Shadows of the Empire. So, and obviously Clone Wars, but Clone Wars is still canon. So, but so I do think George wanted it to be canon. I do. And I think Dave would honor that if he, given the chance, considering he's the creative director now of Lucasfilm.
So, I mean, I would love just to hear it, just hear like I mentioned, like even just like a small little name drop. Like, I mean, they already did it in Andor with the Recordants. So, So they're slowly like canonizing it with just little mentions and name drops.
Yeah, I think it's possible we're gonna get some sort of mention. I would like it. I would definitely like it. And then you know what I'd really like is that we actually get a announcement later on after the Acolyte's done or something that we're going back to
James
the Old
Mangold.
Republic. Yeah, right. That's what I really want. So, oh, here is the piece about Phantom Menace, and they don't know a Sith Lord is around. So it's interesting. I just don't know if this story even is going to have to do with the Sith because it's very unclear right now. But I feel like it's headed in that direction at some point.
I feel like over the seasons, it's going to take us there. It's not going to start out that way, but it's not, well, over time it'll evolve into that. Especially if Leslie already knows she's getting a second season, I guarantee if the ratings are good, she'll get a third, and maybe even a fourth, and that's it. So I could definitely see it gradually like progressing with that.
I agree. I think that's the way to go. Rambo, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think the first season's really gonna have anything to do with the Sith. Probably just a dark or fallen Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I actually did see a really interesting theory that this guy's soul, is the Jedi who is actually like fallen, and he's just like putting on a facade, which is a cool theory because he's not really in the picture when they're all pulling out their lightsabers to fight some bad dude.
If you go to, I think it was the first one, the one tab you're on. Oh, no, sorry, not the other one, the second one. Sorry. Whoa. The lady on the right, that's his old apprentice, and that's that like fallen Jedi. She was his old apprentice.
Right. So she's definitely. I mean, we see her doing like the murders, but someone else. Do you think he's still like her master, even though she's fallen?
I can't see it. If anything, I feel like he's gonna be the one trying to pull her back into the light side.
Okay.
But I mean, I could definitely see that twist though. I just feel like
a cool twist.
I just feel like he's gonna be like with what you said, like this is like the height of their Jedi, and this is this is the height of the Jedi, and that this is like almost like the peak of their arrogance. Like I think he's not gonna be like believing in the fact that she's going down this path. He's gonna want to try and just like convince her that it's like all a facade in a way.
Right. Well, that should be pretty interesting. I think there's also some element of this where she has a sister or something, supposedly. We haven't seen that yet, but Leslie did say it's like Frozen meets what did she compare it to? Frozen meets something. I don't know.
When you say the sister thing, it instantly reminds me of like the Old Republic cinematic, where it's like the Twi'lek and her sister, and the one gets taken and becomes a Jedi, and the other one doesn't.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's what that reminds me of.
Yeah, it does remind me of that too.
So I mean, we could possibly see something of like that. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, hard to say. But I definitely think we're getting some sibling or family relations here. So,
and who knows? Maybe this might even set up like the point where like Jedi have to forego all attachments. This might be the why, because of the events that happen here.
That'd be crazy if we're seeing Jedi with attachments in this era right here. Star Wars Infinite says, have you guys seen the like-dislike ratio? It's getting pretty bad. I don't know if you've seen this, but on the trailer itself, it's like, I last I saw it was like 50-50.
It was like 86,000 and 69,000. Like, but that was like when it first came out, like within like first 2 hours. So like, I don't even know what it's at now. I mean, I didn't think it was bad. So
no, and I told you, because we spoke about it yesterday, and I told you, I was like, I'm skeptical a little bit. Like, it didn't like grab me, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be freaking incredible. Like, I kind of wanted it to, obviously, especially with it being in a new era and everything. I'm just kind of like watching it, like, I don't know if, like, one, I have no attachment to any of these characters, which is fine. I didn't have any attachment to Andor characters, and I love that show. But I don't know. So I'm going in with like an open mind, and we're just going to see what happens. I might like it. I might not. I don't know. The one thing that concerns me is the dialogue was not good for the most part. someone's killing Jedi. I
Yeah,
keep
when
they
I
just keep
heard that,
feeling darkness. I'm feeling darkness. I'm sensing a darkness. There's a darkness. Like, okay, I get it. Like, you know.
yeah, when I was hearing that, that's where I was kind of like, oh, dude, please don't, like, please tell me it's not this bad in the show. But with that too, like, with the attachment, like having like attachment to like the trailer, I think that's kind of how it's supposed to be. Like, it's not, obviously we don't know much of these characters, and we're
Yeah.
almost supposed to feel like these are like the outcasts at first, because like if this is going to be like a Sith oriented show, the Jedi technically are the outcasts in that retrospect.
No, that's
Like
that's a
like
good point.
the pointing, like they're almost like appointing the Jedi as like the villain of the show, in a way. So like I think obviously like Andor, like over time we'll come to love the characters, but for right now it's all new. And what, like, I mean, for me that was how it first was watching A Phantom Menace for the first time.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that I'm like a little concerned about is that so Leslie, it's only 8 episodes, right? And Leslie said that some of the episodes are like barely 30 minutes. So,
Yeah,
I mean, are we going to get like Bad Batch length episodes and we're only going to have 8 of them to try and understand like what these character motivations are and like, you know, identify with these characters in some way? I don't know. That concerns me a little bit.
it better be packed then. It better be a packed 30
Right,
minutes.
it better be
like,
packed.
It
You
better
know,
be packed.
I'm just I immediately going to Kenobi, where Kenobi once again had an incredible trailer using Duel of the Fates. You know, it's playing on your nostalgia a little bit. They didn't reveal Vader in the trailer, but we knew he was coming, and we get 6 episodes, which are admittedly longer than 30 minutes each, but there's a lot that's not needed. That could have been a movie. We all know it could have been a movie.
And the Patterson cut is, I think, is amazing. Like the 2 hour
Yeah, Patterson
version of
cut's
it.
a lot
Like,
better than the series.
And correct me if I'm wrong, at first Kenobi was supposed to be a movie.
Yeah, no, it was announced as a movie at Celebration, and they just
That's
backed out on it. Yeah,
Which they could have done. I feel like they should have done. It would have been paced way better. I feel like.
I agree as well.
Also, too, though, like I know a lot of people have been like kind of like skeptical of Leslie, but like especially like with this announcement that she, like, her first interactions with Star Wars was Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire. Like, to me, that gives me a lot of faith in the fact of like what we're gonna see, like where it's like it's staying close to the source material. It's not straying away.
Yeah, so she's a big fan of the prequels. She's a big fan of Legends and Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire. She said, and you know, we're big fans of Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire. So hey, if she likes the story, then I'm all for it. I definitely I have nothing. I know nothing about her as a storyteller. I'm completely open on. But Star Wars Infinite says he's pretty shocked about like the dislike ratio. I honestly am not, because there's like been like a hate brigade for this show since before it even aired, because of some comments some of the actresses made and stuff like that. So I'm gonna wait until I see the actual product to make any kind of decision on that. But I'm not surprised at the dislikes. And you think that's bad? Wait until they release the trailer for the Rey movie.
Oh my god, they may have to like remove, like, disable comments on the post.
Yeah, that's gonna be
like they're gonna have to like disable comments. Like it's gonna be a nightmare. Like,
it's gonna be wild. I don't know. That's gonna be a war zone.
I would say too, like, I think James Gunn is a prime example. He's in the past have said some things that's maybe not totally cool, but like also too, that shouldn't affect the project. That shouldn't affect the end product. So like I'm like whatever is said in the past, like I'm still gonna watch the show going into it with a clear mind, and then form my opinions on the show afterwards, whether if I think it's good or bad, or if it was mid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care what any of the actresses or the director or the writer says. I don't care what any of them say. Just like I don't care what Gina Carano says online. Or what who else was said? Ray Park did some stuff online, and I don't care. What I just want to see is some good content. That's all. It doesn't matter.
Do you think we could, before we end off today, briefly talk about the Gina thing? With we'll speculation.
We'll chat about it after we kind of wrap up the Acolyte stuff here. Did you have like a favorite part of the trailer that you're like were thinking, okay, this is like going to be really sick, or was it just like you were kind of like,
Honestly,
okay?
I would say almost I have two parts then. One would be just the fact from all the shots that are outside, there's it's no volume, and it just looks like it's very CGI heavy, but it's not like
Yeah,
where it's noticeable. Like it looks real. But I'd honestly say just the Crimson Blade flying through the trees,
yeah,
like slashing the trees, just seeing a saber throw, like that was like, okay, so we're sort of bringing it back because obviously like Luke
yeah. That was
did that
pretty cool.
originally first with Vader, if I
Right.
remember correctly. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
like,
that's right.
and we didn't see much of that in the prequels. So the fact that like we're seeing it here, it's cool just because. I mean, I think the last person to do it was Ray. So
Right, right.
uh,
No, that was a really cool. And then the catch with we don't know who's holding that red lightsaber either, which
well,
is
also
cool.
too the
So
fact that all those Jedi just got force pushed away, like that's like 12 Jedi and just got force pushed away like it was nothing. So like that's where I'm like, that like to me I was like, oh shit, like
right.
that's where I'm most excited about that scene because like what or who has that power to do that for all those Jedi.
Yeah, I bet that's early in the season too. I think we're gonna see that like episode 1 or 2.
I would love to. I would love it almost to pick up like Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, like where it just instantly jumps into like middle of the like a hectic scene.
Yeah,
Like
that'd be kind of cool. I like when shows do that. I mean, you kind of got to catch up. I mean, in a way, A New Hope did that, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I'm definitely a fan of that. Speaking of A New Hope, my wife and I went to see the symphony like played the music to A New
Yeah,
Hope while it was on the screen. I'd never been to one of those before. She had been to the Harry Potter one, but it was awesome. There was a lot of people dressed up in Star Wars stuff. It was a great experience, man. Highly recommend if you guys haven't done that. John Williams, man, his music is just the best. So he's one of the best to ever do it. But
I gotta see if they have that around me. That's
yeah, I don't know. I think they travel around. I don't know. So I would definitely, if you get a chance, check it out. Very, very cool. And that was actually, I've never seen A New Hope like on a big screen at all
yeah,
like that. So it was cool to do it with that experience. So
that sounds pretty cool.
yeah, everyone was cheering when the Death Star blew up. It was hilarious. But yeah, nonetheless, let me back to the trailer. So I thought it really interesting that you said you could tell there was no volume. So there is no volume. She did confirm that in the show. But to me, it still looked very blue screen heavy, like blue screen, green screen, whatever they're using, or CGI heavy in general.
Yeah.
I mean, almost it's not Kenobi bad. Kenobi volume shots were atrocious.
It feels like I don't even want to say because all Mando is volume. It feels a lot more like Ahsoka, like where
Yeah,
it's like
I agree
where
with that.
like it feels like obviously yeah, you know it's like a CG environment, like and there's definitely like green screen and blue screen, but it doesn't detract from it. Like I'm thinking of like Quantumania, like that was very hard for me to like unsee the volume in that. So like
Oh, Quantumania is rough on the eyes, man. That is
yeah,
a oof, just a bad visual
yeah.
situation.
And
It's
I'm
no
glad that
Dune 2.
exactly Dune 2 was seamless when it came with effects.
Oh, I know.
But like obviously, even with Ahsoka, like some things still definitely looked off, and I guarantee you some things in here will still definitely look off. But it's not like enough to pull you out of it, like it is
Yeah.
with the volume sometimes.
No, that's a really good point. I think you're probably right. I think it definitely is more the Ahsoka route. And funny you mentioned that. I've actually started rewatching Ahsoka. I haven't rewatched it yet, so this is my first rewatch. And I just finished episode 3 last night. I think it's really good. I don't think a lot
Yeah.
of people like Ahsoka that much, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't know. I don't
I'd
really
say episode
see...
3 especially is really good. Like for the 30 minutes we got.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm just like I think this show was I'm not saying it's overhated because I guess I don't see people hating on it. I just think it's overlooked. Like it wasn't
I
as
would say it's
popular
underrated.
as Mando. Yeah, it wasn't as popular as Mando. And I think I know why. The reason I think is because we're jumping into a story that's a continuation of an animated show that a lot of people aren't going to watch
Yeah.
unless they're super hardcore fans.
All I was seeing on like Star Wars Twitter is people were like, why would I have to watch all these like 100 something episodes of Clone Wars, and then watch the 30 something or 40 something episodes of Rebels, and it was just like
Right.
to know what's going on, and it was just like you don't necessarily have to. I guarantee I mean I even said it. The first 4 episodes is gonna like bring back all of that to catch everybody up to speed, in which I think it did in a good enough way.
No, it definitely does. The only problem with it, because once again, I'm really liking it. I'm like, this has such a George Lucas feel to it.
It's all Dave.
First of all, yeah, no, it just that dude, the transitions. I mean, the dialogue's a little wooden, yes, but so is George's. Let's be
I was
honest
gonna say
here.
that Dave's always been that
So
way though. Like
yeah, so the dialogue is a little wooden. But the one thing I think is probably a problem for people who haven't seen Rebels and Clone Wars is that, okay, the whole goal of this show, or the whole like mission that they're on here, is to find Ezra and Thrawn. But the audience who haven't seen those shows have, one, they probably have no idea who Ezra or Thrawn are. And the first 5 episodes, they're basically just being told like, oh, Thrawn's really evil. Thrawn's really evil. So they just have to like take the, character's words for it without actually really knowing anything about him, that's a hard thing to land. When you haven't even seen the character until episode 6. So it's tough.
Which is definitely fair, but also too, I mean, if they did watch Mando, and 90% of them probably did, they still have that reference and that call back when Ahsoka asks Morgan Elsbeth. So at least there's that. But also I saw a lot of people complaining like, why does Anakin all of a sudden have this secret apprentice? And it's like I understand that part. But at the same time, like, yeah, it's like people are gonna complain, and it's just it's unfortunate that affects shows, but yeah.
Well, like, I'm just I like I'm saying, I actually understand why some people are like, I don't, it doesn't resonate with me because I don't know who these characters are and blah blah. But like that show is a Star Wars show for Star Wars fans. That's what it is.
I'd say too. That's the same thing with Mando though. No one knew who Mando was. We didn't know who Mando was, but we all gave Mando a chance.
But everyone is learning about Mando at the same time. Whereas this is drastically different. You're watching. I mean, you're talking to people online who know everything about this character, and you might not know a thing about this character. So and in some ways you feel out of the loop. You may feel alienated, from the fan base. So I don't know. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. I think the show is actually great, and I'm really, really enjoying it. Outside of the wooden dialogue, which I don't enjoy in the prequels either, but I still enjoy the prequels. So you know what I mean? Yeah. It's pretty solid. And the visuals do look better than they look a lot better than something like Kenobi, or even Mando season 3 was a little rough.
I was just gonna say, Mando season 3 exactly. Also too, like in a weird way, I feel like almost every single shot in Ahsoka, you could see it on like a graphic novel page.
Yeah,
like if you were looking at like an Ahsoka comic book, it would be like shot for shot that you're seeing, like it could easily translate to a page. And I almost love that, like especially like with for me anyway, with like the Snyder cut. That's what I liked a lot about it, was because like I could like visually see like, okay, that's a comic book page shot.
Yeah.
And like especially like with even like with Ezra building his building like the Kanan 2.0 saber, like especially with that, I was like, damn, like that looks perfect.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think probably a lot of that has to do with Dave being a illustrator, and drawing a lot of his vision out and storyboarding it before he puts it to screen. So, so that all the directors, they obviously had different directors coming in, but all of them that came in knew, what the vision was, and they were able to follow it, I think.
And I'm glad that Dave still stays true to that too.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, he could totally just like go do his own thing, which he has done, but he's kept it like enclosed in a bubble. Like it's not flying off the rails.
Right. No, I definitely I'm excited to see what happens in season 2. We've talked about it a million times, but we'll be waiting for that next.
Quickly.
So, go ahead.
I'll say I just wanted to go over this week's Bad Batch episode.
Oh yeah.
There was just one reference that I wanted to point out. I missed it. The bounty that Fennec is going after, it says that he stole something from the Haxian brood. That is from Jedi Survivor and Jedi Outcast. Not Outcast, sorry, Fallen Order.
Yeah,
When
yeah, yeah.
Cal Kestis gets captured, it's like furthermore canonizing those games, if that makes sense.
That's interesting.
And also too, Wrecker mentioned earlier in the season, I can't remember the name of the creature, but it was in Fallen Order. So they're slowly through animation trying to canonize these games, which I personally like because I play them. So like I really
Yeah.
enjoy it. But besides that, there wasn't really a whole much adding to like the lore with this episode. It's very much filler, but it still wasn't bad either.
Yeah, no, I actually enjoyed the episode, but I have to agree that it was a side quest filler type episode. But I like seeing Fennec Shand again, and I will say that there's clearly a lot going on with the Empire and hiring these bounty hunters to hunt down Jedi. So are the Inquisitors not created yet? I don't. I thought the Grand Inquisitor like became one like immediately after the fall.
Yeah, he and then but there's still, I think they're still like in like the training phase of them, and still like they're still capturing the Force sensitives at this point and torturing them because they definitely have to still to train them and whatnot.
Yeah, and I guess there's probably not regardless, there's not enough Inquisitors to really stop all the Jedi, so they probably put a bounty out on all their heads to say, hey, you know, like, bounty hunters, you want a big reward.
And at most, this is maybe a year and a half post.
Yeah, right,
and that's pushing it, I would honestly even say. I mean, okay, maybe not.
Well, no, Omega's a little older than
I was going to say,
season.
With a 6-month time jump, I'd say maybe it's more believable.
We might be 3 years out, honestly. We might let's say a year per season. And we had a time jump this year.
That's fair. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's go 3 years.
Yeah. So I think that sounds fair.
I'd feel like because the first Jedi Fallen Order is 5 years after. So
okay.
We're starting to get to that point. That honestly it might be what is going on what's going to happen with Ventress.
Yeah, that might be.
I mean, it's very possible. I also too. We got space crocodiles. Like
I know, right? Literally crocodiles. It's kind of cool. Who was Fennec talking to at the end?
I think Cad Bane, 100%.
See, I thought that too, but I'm like, she was not buddy with Cad Bane at the end of their like last episode they were in together. So I'm like, I don't know, man.
I mean, bounty hunters turn on each other all the time. So.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Like how many times Boss turned on Boba? Like,
yeah, that's true.
Like I was gonna say, like it's very like hand in hand. Like one week they'll be friends, next week they'll be wanting to kill each other. It's like,
yeah,
like it changes so much.
That's kind of Cad Bane and Boba too, though. So,
yeah,
I mean, you know, at one point Cad Bane was like his mentor, and then
I mean, yeah, and Bosk was too, almost a little bit too with Clone Wars.
Right. So yeah, I mean, whatever. We'll see. It's definitely. I am eager to see who she's talking to, and to see the bounty hunters start coming into this. I
mean, obviously,
she could be talking to Ventress, though. She could be.
Very true, because obviously she's bounty hunting. I would definitely say though, it's definitely not Hemlock or anyone to do with Hemlock.
Oh no, I don't think it's anyone in the Empire. I think she's talking to someone outside of the Empire to.
Do you think? I don't even know, because if like you're not gonna be able to test her M count unless you're having the Empire's equipment. So you're not gonna be able to tell that she's Force sensitive or has like the ability to use the Force.
Yeah,
so they're not gonna be able to find out why she's so needed. If that makes sense.
Right. I mean, well, someone's gonna tell them, right? Someone's gonna tell them, look, M count has to do with midichlorians. It's what the Jedi have in their blood, blah blah. So they might put 2 and 2 together and be like, she's a Jedi? Like, I don't think so. And maybe she'll start to, have some aptitude for the Force. I don't know.
Do you think that we're gonna get the midichlorian name dropped, or do you think we're gonna stick with M count?
I think they're gonna say midichlorians.
I think they are. I really hope they do. Like,
me too.
M count definitely like sounds cool, and I like that they're like abbreviating it. But I feel like someone like Ventress would be like, it's like it has to do with like the midichlorians. Like I feel like she would be the one to like deliver something with that.
Yeah,
I can see Wrecker being like, well, like mid what? Like,
yeah,
definitely though.
No, I think so. I think it'd be and that's like we haven't even really heard the word midichlorian since like the prequels. I don't think so. It'd be kind of
because they didn't mention it in Mando at all. They just
Yeah,
said
they
force,
said M
force
count
yeah, M count and force sensitive,
in
or
season
have the
2 is
ability
M
to wield the
count.
force.
Yeah.
My clones, yeah, that was yeah.
My clones. My
Um,
clones.
but the big question for the night or the afternoon: do you think with how far we are out from production on Dave's movie, that if everything goes in Gina's favor with the lawsuit, that she might be able to squeeze in like her return as Cara Dune in the movie, like
I
come in
do.
like a cameo at the end, like
I don't
I
even think a
genuinely
cameo at the end. I think she's literally going to be in the movie.
like from the like the get go, like
Yeah,
how big of a part do you think she's gonna play? I'm trying to say.
let me tell you why. Why I
Let me
think
tell you.
this.
All right.
Let me tell you why I think this. Because if you asked me this like a month ago, I would have said no way in hell she's ever
Yeah, I would
coming
have
back.
said yeah, she's not coming back, but
The reason I think she's coming back is one, because she might actually win her lawsuit, and two, just like a week or two ago, I don't know if you saw this, but the Hollywood Reporter did like an article on her, and
yeah.
it actually seemed somewhat favorable, which is really interesting. Like almost like a puff piece. It's
With that,
almost like they're like keying up her
yeah.
return. Like, oh, by the way, yeah, it's like it's all
Well,
good, she said some shitty stuff online and like it happens, you know.
I'm also gonna say too, Disney being this big corporation, they're not gonna want they're gonna want to settle out of court. They're not gonna want it to go to
Right.
trial and everything be fully exposed to the public of what
Oh,
happened.
yeah,
Like
with how
obviously
secretive
it's already been
Lucasfilm is.
publicized.
Yeah.
But yes, they're gonna want to settle out of court, and if that's just by her getting her job back, I think that it won't go to trial. If it goes to
I
trial, Disney's gonna be
agree.
screwed. Like,
Oh,
the IP's gonna drop.
imagine the videos and crap that people are
Yeah,
gonna make about that. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a mess.
I mean,
I'm just
I would say they're even lucky that she just wants her job back. Like, I feel like that's a pretty easy ask.
I
I
think
feel
so too.
like
I
they should really push that. If not,
I don't honestly with the way the Hollywood Reporter article came out, I it wouldn't completely shock me if she was in the Mando movie
but they start filming in like a month and a half. Do you think that
in
like?
June. She's
Yeah,
got like
I'm
3 months. Dude, I bet
I
you
keep
this
thinking
whole
it's
thing
April. I'm sorry, I keep thinking it's April. Like,
I bet you this whole thing's already settled out of court. I bet you it's already been settled. We just don't know
no,
it yet.
I feel like it at least has to like. I feel like we at least have to see like. Maybe you're right, then. I don't know. I feel like Gina would have said
dude,
something
that
by now. Though, no?
article was, what do you mean? She's probably not allowed to say anything ever again. She's probably like
I feel like
if they
with how-
settled, you didn't think they put it there in the contract. By the way, if you ever go on social media again, you're done, basically. So
no, I don't think they would say that because that's the mistake they made in the first like whole entire part of this was getting rid of her because of something she said on social media.
oh man,
I feel like she would have to say like okay like Cara Dune will return, and as in like we decided to settle out of court. I will be returning to the Star Wars universe. Like I feel like she's gonna want to make on her end of the deal a public post about it. Make everyone aware that like we've set aside differences and that I'm back.
possibly, but don't you also think that it could just be a surprise in the movie? Like, oh, by the way, she's back because Carl Weathers is gone. Someone's got to be taking care of Navarro.
I mean,
She's the perfect candidate.
Just,
yeah, she's the perfect candidate, obviously, story wise.
I mean, and also with Mando working for like the Rangers now, I feel like that's how they're going to introduce her.
100%.
We're going to get the Duncan, Idaho entrance, like from Dune.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like I feel like that's how it's going to settle up. And then, but yeah, I would hope that she is in the Mando movie. I would just fully see her coming back in the Dave movie. If not,
I think she's going to be back. I've never seen, I mean, the article was just, it was as if the industry did a complete 180 on her, which is so funny.
it's because they got Elon Musk backing her. That's why. Like no one's gonna want to like tread on that, especially after what Elon said like to Bob Iger publicly, like on a stage.
Yeah,
like like he's definitely. I don't know. I feel like knowing that like Elon Musk is paying for my lawyer bills, like Disney would not want to take that and drag it further because they're fighting an uphill battle.
Right, it will go to court. It will all come out in the public about what was said, via emails and everything like that. I mean, it would be a mess, a PR nightmare, basically. So,
I mean,
yeah, man,
at
I
that
don't
point,
know.
if like I feel like the IP would drop, and hell, who knows? Elon could even buy Disney at that point just from how badly he bankrupt them from everything.
Oh,
Like,
he can't, dude. He can't freaking bankrupt them. Dude,
I
no.
mean,
Did you
as in,
see how
like,
much money they made off of? Did you see the reported profits on Star Wars and Marvel?
no?
Okay, so there's a
Oh, well, yeah, I did. Yeah, 12 billion. They bought it for 4 and have made 12 so far.
yeah, that's literally recorded. That's on the balance sheet. So, and Marvel was around the same. It was actually like 11 or so, which was so here's the thing. Marvel was like $1 billion less in revenue than Star Wars and has 10x the movies. Think about that.
And also, too, I would honestly, I'm just gonna say 10x better stories. Like,
I mean,
I could just see like with everything
a
happening,
lot
like
of
if it
people would
does
agree.
go the wrong route, like almost how like when Marvel started going bankrupt, they started selling off characters. Like I
Yeah.
could see them like doing that, like to try and somewhat make it like
Oh, I don't think, dude.
in like
I'm telling
doomsday
you
scenario.
right now, like even with how poorly the sequel trajectory was in terms of engagement and merch sales, they still made more than Marvel did through the entire Infinity Saga. Think about that for a
That's
second.
wild to me.
That tells you, but it's all merch.
I was say Grogu must have been helping a little bit on that. I
Well,
feel like
of course, no, Star Wars merch sells better than any other, franchise merch out there. Basically, I mean,
I
I
think
buy
that
the shit. You buy the
like
shit. We all
yeah,
buy it.
I'm saying I think the age
It's-
range, like the range and fan base definitely helps to that too.
Right, there's 50-year-old guys out there buying.
Yeah, and
Star Wars toys.
there's 4-year-olds with their parents. Like
Yeah.
it's such a big like demographic compared to like Marvel. Like,
That's why I think they'll never get rid of it. It doesn't matter how badly the shows perform or the movies perform. If they can sell toys, that's all that matters. And
I
they'll
mean, that's what
always be
started
able
it
to
all.
sell. That's right. And they'll
You
always
can't
be
kill
able
off
to
the
sell
character.
toys
Yeah,
from the original trilogy. They'll always be able to sell Luke toys. They'll always be able to sell Darth Vader toys. It
I
doesn't
mean, it's
matter.
exactly what what George said. Like you can't sell toys when your character's done. Like that's why
Yeah.
like he didn't want Harrison to go because you can't make money off of merch then.
Right.
I mean, I would almost see it in the reverse. Like if that character does die like honorably on screen, it's only gonna bump those numbers up because it's gonna mean that much more to others. But I can definitely see it from their side of it just being like the sequel to like Star Wars at the time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of it though. Like think of like Iron Man. Like Iron Man is dead now.
Yeah, Captain America is pretty much
Captain
done.
America's dead.
I mean,
But
obviously,
like
there's new mantle now, but
right. But are we getting like I don't really follow Marvel merch that much, but like do kids want an Iron Man like action figure? Like I don't know. So
I don't got a clue. I can't tell you that.
I don't
I can
know.
tell you what I
Like,
want. I can't tell you what they want.
I just think like Luke and Vader are iconic characters that like they're always gonna sell. I mean, Vader has been selling forever and ever and ever.
And I'd say
And
young Anakin from a Phantom Menace, like that resonates more with younger kids. I know, like when I was younger, I thought I was Anakin Skywalker, like sitting in the backyard, like with like
right,
trike, thinking that I was
Anakin's another
a
one.
pod
Yeah.
racer.
It's like iconic characters that George created. Star Wars Infinite. Enjoyed stopping by. Let's connect in the future. Take care, guys. Keep up the great content. Hey, thanks, Star Wars Infinite. And yeah, reach out if you wanna hop on a stream or something. That'd be cool. Yeah, man. I don't know. I for that reason, I don't think they're ever getting rid of the IP. It doesn't matter, even if all this crazy stuff came out. But I do still think they want to protect the brand. And to protect the brand, I think Gina's going to come back.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I would feel like
Ultimately.
in some way that they at least want like a public announcement about it. Whereas in like Gina wants like a public announcement.
To like so that people can like know what to expect, like going into theater, like, oh, okay.
Well, no, almost as in like just like letting her know like they don't even have to give her Rangers back. I would just say like
She's not
like,
getting Rangers back. It's too late now for that.
I would definitely say that. Yeah, as in like I would just want her to be able to publicly say like almost like we won, but not saying we won, just saying like like Cara Dune, Canna will be returning, and just like, you don't have to say in what project, but just as in like letting us know that she's able to come back. Unless like I definitely could see them wanting it to be secret, but at the same time, if I was in her shoes, I would be like, no, I want the public to know that like you can come back from things. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's a good point.
I don't know.
If it happens, I'll be curious to see how it goes down. In my opinion, because Lucasfilm is so secretive, I still could see it being a surprise.
Very true.
Then maybe she just does like an interview or something, the press tour. I don't know.
I mean, they could do the Katie Sackhoff thing. So you guys have already filmed season 1. Oh yeah, we just wrapped. Like, no one knew that it was filming. Like I definitely feel like something like that could probably slip out.
That's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Katie got silenced after that though. Like, got the the chopping block.
Dude, Katie's always had like all these podcasts just saying tons of shit. So I'm not at all surprised ever if she gets like.
And it was so funny too because like 10 minutes prior she was saying that she hasn't had anybody come and tell her yet that she's messed up and said something she shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And then she went and said that like 5 minutes later. So this is like, all right, well, you're getting your phone call, like.
right.
Damn.
No, that's hilarious. I have one last question for you before we wrap real quick. You've seen the Acolyte trailer now.
Yes.
You've in all its glory. You have seen a leak version of Skeleton Crew. What are you looking forward to more?
Acolyte, 100%.
Really?
Just because of like the fact that Skeleton Crew has been delayed and pushed back so much.
Okay.
Like, I know we're gonna get it eventually, but part of me at that point is gonna be like, am I even gonna care for it at this point? Like, yeah, I'm still gonna watch it because it's Star Wars, but my hype around it is already gonna be like, whatever. Like, it's gonna be like, okay, like when I saw like the Rise of Skywalker trailer after watching Episode 8, I was kind of just like, I'm still gonna go see it. I don't care though.
Right.
Just because it's been so like originally it was supposed to be coming out in 2022.
Sure.
So I don't know. I just feel like personally, I'm a little like disconnected from it. I mean,
no, that's fair enough. That's I was just curious. So, because I mean, ironically enough, I thought I would feel the same way once I kind of saw the Acolyte stuff, but I don't. I mean, I'm gonna watch it obviously, and I'm kind of interested to see where it goes, but I'm like more ready to see Skeleton Crew because I know that it at least connects to Mando, Ahsoka, that kind of stuff in some way.
I can see that.
So I'm getting at least a little bit further in that New Republic storyline, which for me is the kind of best part about Star Wars right now. So
and I would say definitely it has been and it will be. I'm just excited to explore a new era that we haven't seen on screen.
Yeah,
we've seen it in other media, and that's where I'm just like I'm excited because like now you don't have to read these books, which some of them have been very mediocre. So
yeah,
the fact that we're able to see it on screen and like we have it, like we've seen parts of it with the prequels, but I want to go further, like where we are now. Like I don't want to go to like I will still see Dawn of the Jedi, like whatever, if it's a series or a movie, like James Mangold's movie, but I want to go like to where it was like thousands of Jedi fighting thousands of Sith, because on screen that would be insane. It would be like Lord of the Rings. Like
Lord of the Rings epic battles, yeah.
Like yeah, like I want to see that, but in Star Wars, because I just know how special and amazing it would be to see. Because we haven't seen it on that scale before, and I feel like we almost need to see it on that scale at some point before it's too late.
Yeah,
we stop caring, and there's like we're past like the sequels like times 3, and there's like sequels to those movies.
Right.
I don't want it to be like it's too late to go back now to where like no one cares anymore. And I feel like right now is the perfect time. But that's just me.
No, I mean I kind of agree with that, and I definitely I understand that sentiment. Let me say that much at least too. So I it's refreshing to get something completely new, and I just hope it delivers. I guess I'm also hoping that the story feels new, right? So it's not like a rehash, because The Force Awakens felt familiar because it was just a New Hope rehash, basically.
Yeah, it was.
but we've gotten so much of that now that I do want something like new. I mean, I want something like completely new, basically.
And I'm gonna say too, like, because we know that there's a second season. If the first season isn't nearly as good, or if it doesn't necessarily resonate with fans, I guarantee that they're gonna make those necessary changes for season 2 so that it does. So they're still gonna have redeeming quality. Like season 1 of Clone Wars is very hard to get through.
Right.
So they know what like if it's bad, they've already greenlit a season 2, then they're gonna make those corrections. And with Dave being the creative like with the creative, like I'm gonna say just creative director with it all, like if those don't resonate with fans, Dave can step in and be like, no, we like this is what we need to do for it to all make sense.
Yeah,
I feel like we have the opportunity to rebound it and correct it.
Well, I hope Dave's not being like overworked, because he's trying to keep. Obviously, his focus right now is New Republic era, and I think he's trying to keep that timeline in and make it make sense with the sequels, which is obviously tough to do. So he's trying to and I hope he's not like to the point where the story falls apart because he's having to deal with the Dawn of the Jedi and the High Republic and the New Republic and now this new Jedi Order that Rey's gonna do. You know what I mean? Because it could be too much. I mean, it's possible.
I'm gonna say just be sorry, 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say just because of like with Dave, I feel like if Dave knew that it would be like too stressful or too much for him to handle, he wouldn't have taken the opportunity. Like
I agree with that. That's probably true.
Which you're definitely right, but I also feel like too with Dave's big book, I feel like in the book the Ahsoka part of it is like this much towards the end, like so that, like Dave still has all this part like to fill in still, and has like a timeline and a place for it. He just hasn't gotten to that part yet. And like with Acolyte, it's the start of that, I feel like anyway. But I definitely could be wrong.
Oh, it might be. I don't know. So
I mean, I would hope just because of like us getting that timeline on the screen of like I feel like Dave is the one who came up with that. He was the one who wanted to introduce these things.
That might be because the books have honestly not been doing that well, and it's a time to maybe, hey, let's bring it to screen, and then you can get people reading these books. I mean, it's going to be a whole thing, right? So if the show is good, it might bring people more to be like, oh, I want to know more about these characters. I want to read the comics. I want to read the books. I want to, whatever, play a video game. Eclipse is going to be supposedly High Republic. So, yeah.
And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are Jesse Pinkman and Walter White together.
Oh, yeah. They're like, dude, dream team.
John knows the business, and Dave knows and Dave has the chemistry. Like,
yeah, it's the dream team, man. We gotta make sure they stay together.
Definitely.
Right.
But,
so,
yeah, I have faith just because, like, I guarantee. Like, I don't want to shit on Kathy, but like, I guarantee Kathy wasn't like, yes, let's go back to the Dawn of the Jedi. If anyone, I feel like Dave would have been the one who introduced that.
And, probably. I mean, dude, I don't think Kathy knows what the Dawn of the Jedi is. Let's be honest. So,
or if anything, I think maybe even James Mangold might have like approached Star Wars about it, like approached them about it, and Dave being like, "Yes, I was actually thinking about this." That's
possible.
Because I mean, just for James Mangold just to like randomly have this idea, I feel like almost like for them to make it happen, they both had to like reach out in a way. Like it wasn't just random that James Mangold wanted to make this Star Wars movie. Like I feel like Dave is like planting his seeds to make sure like these beginning movies for this timeline are really good.
Yeah.
And then if they are mediocre after, it's okay because we still have this great one for like the groundwork.
Yeah. No, I definitely think you're on the right track because it's like the Rey movie, for instance. Like we're getting one movie from what we understand, but like if they're starting a new era with these movies, then their plan is probably like, oh, if it delivers, if it's good, then we're gonna get more movies in that era. Now I don't know.
Yeah, testing the waters.
Yeah, I mean they probably are, but I'm telling you, the dislikes are gonna be incredible on that trailer.
I can't wait to see like how quickly like Disney like disables the comment section.
Oh, it's definitely getting disabled. That is like that is...
if that isn't enough of a sign to them that they shouldn't be making this, then I don't know what is.
Dude, it'll be too late by then. It'll already be made. So
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if anything, like with like the timeline that we got, they should do on like maybe like Twitter, Instagram, like across all their social medias, do a poll
Yeah.
out of all those, and just ask like which out of these categories would you like to see the most, and to let the fans decide. Because then, like, yeah, I get that it's like from a company's perspective, it's really dumb, but don't make shit content for fans. They're not gonna want to watch it. Make the content that they're gonna want to watch.
Never happening.
Yeah,
in a million years. Can you imagine that they listen to the fans like that? Can you imagine?
I still have hope. I know it's dumb, like it's like dumb hope, but I still got hope.
Dude, they are never ever gonna listen to the fans. There's no way, not a chance.
I don't know. Leia always made me believe in hope.
Yep.
So
that's right. That's right. All right. Well, let's call it there. I know you got plans. So, everyone, thanks for joining again. And we'll be back at it not next week. Unfortunately, I am going to be gone next week, so we're going to take a week off. But we'll be back. Would that be the first week of April then? Yes, first week of April. So
probably April 4th, if I had to guess.
Yep. Let's plan on it. So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching as always, and may the force be with you. See ya.